Hi, this is Suzanne in Ohio. I have a little creation to share with you today. This is a gift item, and I wanted to show before it went off to the recipient. It's in a pouch. Here's the fabric pouch, and it just simply opens up like this and closes. It's the base of the pouch is made from snippets of handkerchiefs and old textiles. And then I created these little cottage rose type things out of soft fabric. And then the leaves are out of my hand dyed lace. And then it's all held together with a lot of embroidery and some quilting, actually. And not that I'm a quilter, but I know enough to do a little bit of hand quilting. So there's the inside, and the journal pulls out as such. And when you first look at it, it looks like this. The fabric here is the lining of the inside of the pouch, and what I made the roses out of also. So you simply untie, and then everything begins to unfold. The first flap that unfolds has some tuck spots. And then I should say this is one of those things I made out of 3 envelopes together. And so it's kind of difficult to show it because it just unfolds and unfolds. But bear with me here for a minute. The first thing I want to say is I've got some images here from an Etsy seller, and she'll be listed below. I believe almost everything here is AntiquePaperie, although there might be some ScreechOwl images, ScreechOwlStudios. But here's what I did. This beautiful image of this meadowlark is right here. And I created an acetate window that closes over top of that bird image. And in between 2 pieces of acetate, I put some of my dyed hydrangea blossoms and just positioned them in such a way that they look good overlaid over the image. And you might say, well, what's that for? Well, nothing other than it's pretty. Okay, so here's a tuck spot right here, and I didn't want to add anything to that image or put anything over top of it. I don't know how my color on this video will come out, but her work is beautiful. AntiquePaperie, both of them, and ScreechOwlStudio. So the next thing you do is unfold, and it is a lot of, how should I say, it's a lot of images, sensory stimulation, but bear with me and I'll explain it all. So some of her papers here, I created a little tuck spot, and then pieces of ephemera, some of her stuff, which I just made a simple journaling card, and that slips right under the first image there, backed with that pink paper. And then behind that is another tuck spot. So this cute little cutie is there. More of her papers, journaling card, tuck spot, and this is a pocket, or, oh, I'm wrong. It opens for writing space. So that tucks right behind the bead. And then that opens up, and there's a tuck spot here, a little tiny booklet I made. Oh, it's not. I take that back. It's just a fold out journal card, and tucks right in there. Her beautiful image of this vintage advertisement with the rose imposed on it. I did not want to cover it up. So I made a hidden pocket with it, and this has a piece of ephemera in it. Now, from the angle I'm at, I can't see to slip that back in there, but you get the idea. Now, there's also a hidden pocket here. Okay, I am really messing up. That is not true. That's the piece of ephemera I already showed you. So All of this mounted on the surface, one hidden pocket before you get down to the surface of the envelope. Then it unfolds again and starts the pockets of the envelope. So here's the first pocket of the first envelope, and it is full of ephemera, which I will pull out here. And some of these are hers, some are things I had laying around my desk. A little slip pocket I made, and that has some folded up pieces of ephemera in it. This is a little booklet, old papers. Guess I better put it straight up and down. And those three items slip in this little pocket, which that image was part of her stuff too. Now everything's going to fight me right now because I'm in a hurry, but I'll just lay that over there. So that all that stuff there goes back into the first pocket of the first envelope. And so with one of her images, I was trying to use all my scraps. I made a hand fan, and it just simply unfolds like this. Her images on that, you turn it over, and most hand fans had some kind of piece of silk ribbon or something to keep them the way they were supposed to be when you unfolded them. So it just folds back up and slips in that pocket. Then one of her images here forms, I made a little pocket pouch with it, and then there's ephemera in here, prints of old greeting cards, 2 of them, which were quite nice, probably 1930s to 50s. I have the originals, and I just scanned them off and printed them, and that's writing space on the inside of that. And this is just a beautiful part of one of her images, so that makes the outside of the pocket right there. So those things slip in the first pocket, which I'm not going to do right now. It'd be easier for me to show you if I don't. So we'll scoot it down, and then I'm going to see, maybe I should have brought you down a little closer. I'm not sure. But here's the second of the envelopes. Right here's the pocket. And then she has a beautiful image there, and I made a hidden pocket out of it also. And this pulls out another one of her gorgeous little images, and it is itself a pocket, but you can put some hidden things in there. This was getting too full, so I didn't put anything in it. Now in this pocket, it's loaded up with stuff also. So a piece of ephemera, another part scanned of that old greeting card, and then this is the thing I think I had the most fun with, because you know, it's fun when you feel like you've invented something kind of new for yourself. So I found an image of this piece of sheet music online. It was called A Bundle of Old Love Letters. I printed it off on a plain piece of paper. I waxed the paper so it looks like vellum, and then I put, this was a cutout from a greeting card, and I backed it with this beautiful tracing paper, which I colored with my distress inks, and it forms a little pouch there on the front, which holds some ephemera, and this little pocket has a piece of ephemera in it, and an old envelope in that tuck spot. So that tucks right here behind the roses, and because this said A Bundle of Old Love Letters, I made some facsimile of old love letters and I put them in here. And I got these images from, I believe, LunaRozuCo on YouTube. She'll be listed down below. Pardon me. And I'm not going to unfold them all, but they're just loosely held together with a piece of waxed twine and a key. So what I did was I printed off her vintage old love letters, or vintage old documents on plain paper, and I waxed them also, so they have this very antique look. And then, of course, distressed, and then folded them back up according to the original fold lines that you can see. And this just is held kind of semi-shut loosely with a piece of waxed twine. And so there's, I think, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 old documents, and maybe some of them are old love letters. I don't know. But anyways, they sure look cute on here with this old key, and then stuffed in this envelope that says old love letters. So you can write on the back of them or imagine that they're anything that you want them to be. And all of that fit in here along with this. I was just using up paper, so I made some writing surfaces. Little tuck right there with one of my ribbon printouts. And all of that goes in the second pocket. So I don't want to get those mixed up. I'll move that on down and fold this back up and scoot down so you can see the top envelope, this top envelope. So the first thing here on the front is a flip open, writing space on it. That image forms a little tuck spot that holds these 2 pieces of ephemera. Let me get it right back in there. And then, sorry about the coughing. A little image here that forms a little tuck spot, and I created a little tussy-mussy. This is just a die cut cutout. And this is a print of a vintage doily, and I've got some of those things from RazzersCrafts because she had round ones, and I did not. So I just folded it over to form a little tussy-mussy and put that little bouquet of flowers in there, and that tucks right there. So in this pocket, we have a few more items on a little journal card, and I showed this in another video. Again, these are my hydrangea blossoms, which I colored with Inktense pencils and superimposed them, a famous quote, some collage work, music sheets showing through, and some of those beautiful images from AntiquePaperie. Or maybe that's ScreechOwlStudios. I'm not sure right this minute. And the back of it is journaling space. So then my last and final item in here is this little envelope. And I used some of the scraps to form a little tuck. Created a tiny little booklet. Whoop, it goes this way. This is a tuck spot, nothing in it. And just some papers and leftover scraps for the color, you know, to add the color. And that slips in the front here where someone could make notes. Now, in this envelope, it was a tattered envelope, and I used it. And there's some items in here that's only of interest to the person this is going to, but they are kind of interesting, so I'll show them to you. So the first thing we have here is probably a very poor quality print. It's a picture photograph that was taken of an original written poem and a picture of the man that wrote it. And so he was my great-grandfather, and he just got out of the Civil War, had his photograph taken, and wrote her, his beloved, a poem which was a proposal to marriage. So here's the translation of the poem, and it was written, it had the date October 2nd, 1865, so that you can fully understand the vocabulary, because people did write differently back then. And this is them about halfway through their life, I guess. This was him when he first got out of the Civil War, And this is her a few years later, and that's who he proposed to. So my great-grandparents. So those things just fit in this envelope. And because of the, what did they say, provenance that goes along with it, makes them quite interesting. So all of those things fit in the last of the pockets. So I'll just fold this back up one more time so you can see how it works. It folds up. There's the original acetate window. And I can tell the lighting is playing with the color. And this folds up, this folds down, and then the tie goes all the way around it. And there's a nice image there on the back. So there you have it. That was my little gift item I've made for my sister, actually. And she likes pretty things, and I think she'll enjoy it. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Leave any comments if you have any questions, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.